Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're well. It's Alessio with a quick update for you on Bitcoin. Now, what an absolutely exciting and amazing day it is today on Bitcoin. Because if you've been watching our channel now for the last few weeks, maybe last few months, in fact, you know that we predicted this move would happen. In fact, I said this just in a very recent video, you probably watched it, that if Bitcoin breaks this key level, then brace for impact. What was that level? I mentioned in the last video, 9,300. Okay, and in fact, in the previous video, I mentioned something important. If you go back to the previous video I posted just a few days ago, as a matter of fact, I said this. I said, look, if Bitcoin comes back to 9,600, in fact, there it is. I said, if Bitcoin moves back to the 9,600 level, then guess what? We're breaking it. And if we come down to the 9,300 level, then we're definitely, well, almost 70%, 80% probability we're going to break that level. There it is. And as you see it there, guys, Bitcoin came back down to test that support, the 9,300 level, right there today, and finally did exactly as we'd expected. Again, if you've been watching our channel, guys, been watching our videos, then you had known about this move. You'd know this move was going to happen. But a lot of people out there have been caught unaware. By the way, guys, the reason why a lot of people are surprised by this move in Bitcoin that is broken to the downside, it's because the majority of the articles online have been saying the exact same thing. Everybody on the internet, almost everybody, guys, all the articles have been extremely bullish. I mean, these are some of the articles on TradingView. Everything has been bullish. Oh, Bitcoin's going to break higher. It's going to go massively higher. Here's another one for you. Just another article saying the exact same thing. Oh, Bitcoin's going to go break higher. Guys, I'm sure that you, like me, have had enough of this nonsense. I've said this before, guys, that whenever everybody is thinking like a herd, and a herd-like mentality is when everyone is thinking the same thing, right? So as Jim Rogers famously said, when everyone is thinking the same thing, somebody is not thinking, and we should do the exact opposite. We should examine the other side. So I'm glad you guys have been with me. I'm glad that you've been watching our videos, so you've been expecting this move like I have. So, by the way, in case you're just seeing this video for the first time and you're not sure what I'm talking about, let me just play for you a very short clip of my video where I said this. One of the most important rules in chart analysis is this, that the more times price comes down to test a key level, as you can see here on Bitcoin, it's about the 9,300 level, the more times price comes down to test a key level, the more likely it is that eventually it's going to break it. So if Bitcoin does come down, to test this level, that'll be the fourth time Bitcoin is coming down here to test this key level. And there's a very high probability Bitcoin actually could suddenly break this level and then overshoot down into the 8,000, maybe even to the 7,000 level range. All right, guys, as you heard there, we've been expecting this breakout from the downside, which is great. Because why? Because it means now two scenarios are going to come into play. Two scenarios. What are they? So let me show you. One is the potentially bearish scenario. In other words, that the rally we've seen so far, the massive rally we saw from 3,000 to 14,000 has been a B wave, and that we could be setting up for the C wave down to 2,000. That's one scenario. There is also another scenario, which I'm sure you're familiar with. I've been mentioning this for some time. That's the wild card scenario. Now, I'm at the moment leaning towards the wild card scenario, although I'll say something about this in a few moments. But the wild card scenario simply is that Bitcoin is going to break to the downside like it has done just recently, move significantly lower towards the 7,000, maybe even the 6,000 level, complete wave 2, the C wave of wave 2, and then start wave 3, potentially a massive wave 3 higher towards the 14, 15, 16, and 20,000 levels. This could take a long time, by the way. It could take some months to play out, just to let you know. So the question you're probably wondering, well, which of these is it? Is it the wild card scenario, or is it the B wave, the bearish scenario? By the way, guys, let me know your own thoughts in the comment section. So let me know your comments down here. But let me just say this. For me to decide which of these scenarios is the most likely, I need to first see how Bitcoin is going to essentially react after this drop. Because here's the thing, guys. Right now, Bitcoin has broken to the downside of that triangular formation. It's broken support, it's broken key structural levels. That's important. When Bitcoin, and indeed any market, when it breaks market structure, then you know what? That is a key thing we need to remember. It's a key factor. It does usually lead to further selling. So we also have a pulse that's fired to the downside. Take a look at this. Pulse signal fired to the downside. That is a bearish scenario. It means momentum. Potentially momentum could be driving this to the downside there. And also the weekly charts. The weekly charts are essentially very important. So as you guys know, the weekly chart, we have the 21 moving average. 21 weekly average is right there. It's broken below that blue line. That's important, by the way, because we said before in previous videos, if Bitcoin does not hold that level, then that could significantly mean a more bearish situation. But again, it could be bearish or it could be the wild card scenario. We'll have to wait and see. So it's broken at 21 weekly. That's a pretty bearish situation at the moment for Bitcoin, as long as it remains below it, by the way. But it has dropped to the 200 daily moving average here on TradingView. That's the green line you see right there. It's holding that level for the moment. Let's see if it continues to hold it. What I think is going to happen potentially in the next few days, we might have a bounce. I mean, we've had a strong drop. It's possible, or indeed probable, we might see a small bounce. And I want to see what happens after that bounce. Now, either we'll bounce from here or maybe slightly lower, but the fact is I want to see how we bounce after this drop. And that's the main thing. If the bounce is corrective, it might mean further drops. If the bounce is impulsive, then that might mean a potentially major reversal to the upside. But again, bottom line is how Bitcoin behaves in the next few days, how Bitcoin acts in the next few days, the next couple of weeks, will make me decide whether we're dealing with the wild card scenario or the B wave, indeed the bearish scenario. Again, at the moment, I'm leaning towards the wild card. We'll see what happens. But again, I'll let you know in a future video update. By the way, let me also say this. There have been plenty of internet trolls who have just been commenting a bunch of nonsense on my video saying, oh, Alessio doesn't know what he's talking about. Alessio is wrong on this. Well, where are those internet trolls now? Where are you guys? I don't hear any of you speaking right now. Are you going to apologize to me because you told me that I was wrong?
No! No, Aaron, you're being strange. No!
No, I didn't think so because you're a bunch of crybabies. Forget them. They don't deserve any response. All right, guys. So the bottom line is this. We have now broken key structural levels, broken the trend line, broken the support level, I should say. And I personally think we got more downside to go. All right. So I don't think this is the end of it. I still think, look, we got momentum, pulse fire to the downside. We might have a bounce, but bottom line is I still think we're going to have further downside towards the potentially the 7,000 or maybe the lower 7,000s. But let's wait and see. I want to see how indeed Bitcoin reacts from these levels. But bottom line is this, guys. One thing I should also mention is this. XRP, I've actually been stopped out of my XRP position. So as I mentioned in the previous video, I always have a stop loss, and my stop loss was triggered. Fortunately, though, it was at break even. So I didn't end up losing anything. So that's on XRP, just broke at break even. Ethereum, wow, look at this. Ethereum just managed to break out of the structural support levels there as well. That's not quite good for Ethereum either. And same goes with a lot of other markets too. EOS, same thing. Dash as well. So, you know, a lot of these other cryptos all pretty much suffering because of the Bitcoin drop. So because the Bitcoin drop, it's basically dragged a lot of these other altcoins down with it, as to be expected. All right, guys. So quite an interesting situation right now for Bitcoin. It's now holding the 200 daily moving average. Let's see if it continues to hold or not. But that's going to be quite interesting as we head through the next stage of Bitcoin. All right, guys, thanks very much. And if this video has helped, please give a thumbs up, and also please subscribe for future videos, and also please hit the bell icon as well. Thanks a lot.